proponent of giving lots of information. So on the back, what I've provided for you guys is what you need to know about college admissions. Did you know that every college in America accepts the SAT and the ACT equally? They don't have a preference. And a lot of parents go, really? I didn't know that. A lot of parents that grew up or live in California or on the East Coast didn't even know that there was a thing called the ACT, because the SAT was always given on the East and West Coast historically, and the ACT was in the Midwest. Total professional expert tip, always take the ACT. Everybody good? If you want to take the SAT, you're on your own. You know, they just changed it. But the ACT is traditionally a stronger tool and a better test and easier for students. So everybody take the ACT. What else? You guys see anything you have questions about? Should you fill out the FAFSA? Everybody go like this. Yes. Because that's the gateway to all money. Even if you're not going to qualify for financial aid from the federal government, you still got to fill that sucker out because it's going to open up the door for lots of money for you. On the right-hand side, the ones in yellow, what do you think? Anybody guessing? They're my favorites. I highly recommend the book at the bottom, How to Be a High School Superstar. Every single kid in this room should have a copy of that book. Remember a minute ago I said you need to read 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week? Start with that. It's awesome. Questions? What do you guys want to know about college admissions? It's hard. Nothing? Really? Thank you.
What's the deadline? Once he applies?
Yep.
How much time do they have to get back? Or do
Oh,
they not even have?
no, that's a great question. So in college admissions, there are different deadlines based on different schools. The UC schools, for example, anybody know? November 30th. November 30th. The UC schools, the deadline's November 30th. They usually open around October 1st. There are some schools that have rolling deadlines. You can literally apply in May of your senior year of high school and still get in. I'm talking to you,
Do
University
they
of
have to
Arizona.
get back to him though?
Yeah, they do.
What is that?
Most colleges will get back to students in March or April-ish of their senior year. National Commitment Day, it's on here, is May 1st. So in America, we all kind of agree that everyone's going to decide what college they're going to go to by May 1st. If you're not talking about letters of intent, is that what they're called? If you're not doing that stuff and you're just applying to college, then typically, like my students right now are waiting to hear back from all of their colleges. Some already heard. Some heard back in December if they've gotten in. Some schools process applications rolling, so as soon as you turn it in, they're going to make a decision and let you know. Does that answer your question? So usually spring of your senior year, by May 1st, you know where you're going. You guys are disappointed. I know you don't know everything about college admissions.
So you have a business.
I do. Oh, thank you. I have a pamphlet for you guys too. Good question. So basically everything that you would love for your high school counselor to do for your student, that's what I do. So I'm a private, independent college counselor. My little pamphlet will show you all the stuff that I do. We individualize one-on-one with students the whole admissions process.
So if someone wants to use your services and need some help with their ACT or SAT, you can help them in that
No, I dislike the ACT and SAT a lot. So I stay away from them because I think they're evil. So I refer out to people that love them
Okay.
and think they're awesome.
Okay.
Not me.
How do you take the pre-SAT?
Oh, good question.
ACT.
Yes, which should logically be called the PACT, but it's not. It's called the Aspire. Your high school offer it, and if they don't, you need to call the district office and ask them what local high school offers it. Highly recommend that you have your students do that. You guys, students in this room, you've got to take those ACT tests seriously. It's a really fast test, and the best thing you can do for yourself is to practice it. Because all my students tell me I couldn't finish. I ran out of time. And all you have to do is, just like soccer, all you have to do is practice. If you practice, when you sit down for the real test, you'll be golden. Okay, I feel like I'm running out of time because there's people out there waiting. So,
Brian, anything else?
thank you. I'll be outside if you guys have questions.
She provided all the admissions information inside the guide as well, so all that content comes from her, and then you can obviously feel free to reach out to her for anything specific. But Brian's gonna quick one up.
Bottom line is, guys, there's somewhere for your son to play, right? They're all not going to play UCLA. You're all not going to play Cal. So you have to take the process very seriously and find the right fit for your son. All right? I always tell players, pick a university that you would attend regardless of soccer. That's very important. Pick a university that you see yourself attending for 5 years, right? Because that should be at the forefront of why you're going to university. You shouldn't be going to university just because of soccer. Yeah, it's great that you can play soccer and you can earn an education, but it's very important that you pick a university that has a major for you, that you can study for the next 4 or 5 years and you can walk away with a college. All right? I've had these guys waiting here for a very long time, and I want to spend a little bit of time giving them an opportunity to speak. We tried to include a variety of universities, state, UCs, private, junior college, and give them an opportunity to talk about their schools and their programs and what type of players they might be looking for. And hopefully you guys can ask them a couple of questions also. I think this is very unique and very important. So on the left we have Martin McGrogan, who is the head coach at Irvine Valley College. Right next to him we have Yossi Raz, who is the head coach at Cal Poly Pomona. Next to him is George Kurtz, who's the head coach at Cal State Fullerton. We have Matt Edwards, who's the head coach at Claremont McKenna College. And we have, I'm blanking his name again. Shine, I'm not even going to try to say his last name because I'm going to murder it. We have Shine, who's the assistant coach at Vanguard University. He is the assistant coach for the men and for the women. And we have, at the end, Michael Oakson, who started playing at West Coast since he was 9 years old, and he just recently committed to that man's school over there. That's Skate Fullerton. So maybe start with Martin. Maybe a little bit about your school.
Well, Irvine Valley College is a California community college. There are 113 California community colleges. Irvine Valley, we're very fortunate with a very good soccer environment, with a very good educational environment. Many of our players come into the school with a good education. We are often competing with the gentleman here. I have no money. I don't give scholarships. When you come in, there's no money. We also have a lot of money when people leave. So there's a lot of academic scholarships. There's a lot of scholarships from the school. Many of our students go on. Of the 113 California community colleges, we are one of 9 that sends our students to all of the UC schools. Very good school. Last year we had a good year. We went undefeated in the league. We have players who have played in the professional leagues. 3 players played in the NASL. The last one being Benno, who played for New England. We had 2 players, 2 local boys. One played for the Galaxy, one played for Chicago. We had 7 boys who played indoor. Many of them have gone on and played at other schools. And I'm the hybrid, I'm in the middle. So you leave high school, maybe you're not quite ready physically, maybe you're not quite ready emotionally to go to a 4-year school. And so you come to a California community college, and if one of these gentlemen comes to me and says, hey, last year's center forward was the 2nd leading goal scorer in California, I'm interested in him, I'm going to get 2 questions. Can he play at the next level? What are his grades? They're going to go NAIA, probably want to get a 3.5. We've had players go to Vanguard, we've had players go to Concordia, they got a 3.4, they've got $11,000. They come back and say, Coach, I need one more GPA point, get extra $5,000. I really apologize, I can't create one. I don't have one. That extra point is worth an extra $5,000 academic scholarship. So anyone who's listening, these guys, there are lots of people. They've got people in the community, they've got people they trust, they've got people in your club, lots of things going on.
Yeah, when we talk about a college fit, right? Maybe the reality is that your son might end up at a junior college, sir. Maybe that's a good fit for him, right? Goes to a junior college for 2 years, and then he goes on to a 4-year university. One unique thing about Irvine Valley College, Saddleback College, if you attend Saddleback College, you can actually play on the men's soccer team at Irvine Valley, correct?
Right, the men's team. They don't have a men's team.
That's very important information. So next term, Yossi Raz, maybe you can talk a little bit about Cal Poly Pomona. Yossi's just completed his 2nd year as head coach. 2nd year? 3rd year. -6.
Goes fast.
So Cal Poly Pomona is part of the CSU system in 24 institutions, together with Fullerton and many others across California. We one of the two polytechnic institutions in the CSU system. So some of our classes are a little more competitive than others, where the vision of the school is to go towards a place where all the classes are a little more competitive and they open their opportunities to a broader segment market than just our own students. We are competing in the CCAA, which is, I believe, one of the toughest, if not the toughest, Division II conference in the country. Example for that would be that last year, before we played in the Final Four of America, we only played CCA schools. So we played CCA schools all through the tournament, and in the semi-final, and the regional final, it was all CCA schools, and all very, very good. So competitive conference, and we feel like we.
Can you stand up? I don't think they can hear in the
I'm
back.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, where did I miss you guys? The CSU or?
That's your name.
Third season. Well, my apologies. Scott Poly Pomona is part of the CSU system. I'll do it real quick. But we're two in the CSU system that we are polytechnic, which basically means that the president's commitment to higher education, they would like to drive it to be the most competitive education possible. We are part of the CCAA. We're playing a conference called CCA, which I believe is the toughest, one of the toughest, if not the toughest one in the industry. And I shared that we basically last year, before we played in the Final Four, we only played CCA schools to show the quality of the conference. We obviously like to build the most competitive team possible, but the most important thing for us is that we graduate our athletes. Since I got hired 3 years ago, thus far we graduated all of our athletes, and we're very, very proud of it. Probably more proud of that than championships that we won, and whatever amount of games we won. So we're committed to make sure that the young athletes going through our program will have a really bright future in whatever business they choose to do. Some of them might have a chance to be pro, not all of them, and we try to help all of them to achieve their goals and to be a good life, basically. We try to play attractive soccer. It's not always work perfectly. Some days we're better than other days, and some people agree with the way we're playing, some people not agree with the way we're playing, or just any other opinion. But we're doing our very best. Our staff and our players are very committed to making sure we're representing our community, the institution, Southern California to the best of our ability.
Quick question for us, how many players on your roster?
30 would be the max. Currently, there's 24.
24. How many games in your conference? In your regular?
So we're playing 18 official NCAA games. We're playing preseason, 3 more games, and then we play 5 dates of competition during spring, where we usually try to play twice in the season.
Thank you. And next to him, gentlemen, George Kearns, head coach, Cal State Fullerton. George has unique knowledge, coaching at the college level, because he's coached at the UC school, UC Irvine, and now he's at a state school, which recruiting and academics, a little bit different, so George can possibly share with you.
Yeah, I've been probably around, I think only us two might have been around for a while. Well, it's great to be here. I will tell you, I have to apologize. I have to apologize because Division I has a little different rules. I'm not allowed, I had to get this approved through Brian knows this, through my academic person at the university. I'm not allowed to speak about my school at a college night. Okay, so you're not going to hear about my school. You can Google it. You can find as much out as you want. You can find out as much about us, about the program as you can on the program, anytime you want. Okay. So he's going on the phone. I will tell you though, Division I level, there's about 4 million players playing under the age of 18 right now in the United States. That's just the United States. Okay, so at the Division I level, and I'll tell you, I've been around a long time because I've been coaching in college 30 years, okay, 30 years. And in that time period, about, I think it might be 29, okay? So in that time period, I've coached NAIA, Division III, founded the Division I program at Pepperdine, founded the women's program at Cal Lutheran, was with the men's program as well, I was coaching both at the same time. And then I came to UCI for about 19 years, and you know where I'm at now. So I've been through the process and probably hundreds of these nights, hundreds. And I will tell you, there's a lot of information, okay? If you're looking Division I, okay, you've got about 4 million players for about 5,000 spots in the United States on the men's side, okay? For about 5, you just take about 200 teams, multiply that, you know, how many players on a team, for about 1,000 spots per year. Okay, so about 5,000 to 5,500 spots. You know, I hear people throwing out college names. But let's whittle that down a little bit. You've got 4 million players under the age of 18 that want those spots. And you can just add up the high schools across this, maybe 700 high schools in the LA area. Okay, 700, 800 high schools, just in the LA area. Okay, so to make a spot, 1,000 spots, and maybe not all of those guys are getting money in the United States is very difficult. So all the things that these gentlemen have told you tonight, these young lady who told you tonight are true, very true. The reality is there is a spot for everybody. I took the JC route. There is a JC route. And I will tell you that a lot of coaches are looking at the JC route because if you get 20 games and you start at the JC and you spend a lot less money and you put some money away and you put your parents put some money away and you start and you become an all-conference player, you win a state championship or 2, you suddenly become valuable. If you sit on the bench at a 4-year school, not a great experience. I'll tell you, and I've coached at these different schools, it doesn't matter where you win a championship. When you win a championship, you're still working just as hard, just studying just as hard. You're doing all the things that every other school does. It's still a championship. You don't win a championship in Division III and say, oh, it's a Division III, I wish it was in Division I. No, you've worked just as hard and it feels the same. Trust me, I've been there. So the guys that I stay in touch with, probably the most, are from a Division III school that was non-scholarship. And those guys I'm still in a very, very close contact with. In fact, I'm inducting somebody into Hall of Fame, a good friend, he's the head coach at Pepperdine, who was my captain at Cal Lutheran, and then I brought him over to Pepperdine, and now he's in there, he's done extremely well, and he's going into Hall of Fame. And that's what I'm proud of. You know, there's a place for everybody. But if somebody didn't believe in him in high school, because he wasn't even going to go to college. He wasn't even going to go to a play in college. He was probably going to go to a JC and whatnot. And then he ended up playing and he became a captain. He was an All-American. He was a very good player. And that's what happens. So don't get stuck on Division I. There is a place, but if you're a good Division I player, you probably already know about it. People are already talking to your coaches. If they're not, then you need to be very proactive. You need to be the squeaky wheel. And if you're not the squeaky wheel, okay, your coach needs to be. Okay? Because if your coach is putting their name on you, then, and they know some people, because it's all about who you know. They know some people, they'll get you in the door. They'll get you in that conversation. They'll get your profile, they'll get that information. Coaches want to know if you can play there. And trust me, there are not all 4.0 students at Stanford. If you're good enough, you know, trust me, they got a football team and a basketball team. You got to be a good student, but you might not be a 4.5 student to get in, right? So, not knocking those other sports, but if the coaches want you, you know, you'll know about it. Okay, you'll know about it. But you have to have good grades. You can't get into a, you know, I worked at UC for 19 years. You've got to have good grades. I'd get the stink eye if I brought anybody in with a 3.2, okay? But 3.5, 3.8, everybody says you got to get in 4.5. Well, there are special help for athletes. And not only for athletes. If you can dance, if you can play an instrument, all these schools have a venue to help you. They have these meetings, okay, all the time. Can this student help our program get better? They're in, doesn't even matter if it's sports. It could be a great singer, you know. How can they help the university in a special way? So if you have special talents, If you have special talents, you need to let your coaches know, because that might help get you in as well. So these are the types of things. Division I is if you think it's status, it's not all that. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. You're just asking to give yourself basically a 24-hour job for the next 4 years, because that's all you're going to be thinking about for the next 4 years. You're going to be in study hall, 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week. You're going to be in study hall. You're going to be in training, and you're going to be competing against the best of the best of the best. Ask Coach Carlos. Ask him. Every guy that walked into that team that he was on, because I've known him since he was 5 years old. Okay, he knows this. Okay. Every guy that walks into those teams trying to take your dinner. We have vultures on the team, you got vultures. They want to see you go down and get hurt. In fact, they might crack you in the preseason so they can get a starting spot, right? So you have to make sure that you're able mentally to withstand that. You've got to be tough mentally. You've got to be ready to be able to go to training at any Division I school and know that every coach that's brought, every player that the coach brings in is supposed to out-recruit you. And so you're always looking over your shoulder because the coach is trying to, we talk about youth soccer at the Division I level. Now it's not getting closer to basketball. This sport is now becoming phenomenal in this country. Okay? And I'll tell you, some of the conferences are averaging 13,000, not 13, or the highest attendance, outdrawing basketball teams. Can you believe that? So there is a place for everybody. I know I've talked too much. I hope that we can answer more questions later, but I appreciate being here, and if there's more questions we can ask, but I can only answer general questions.
And next to Matthew Edwards, head coach at Claremont McKenna. You talk a little bit about your school and the conference. You just completed your first year.
I did, yeah. Brian, thanks so much for having us down this evening. It's awesome to be here with everybody and talking about the college search process. So, I've actually been in Division III my whole career. I started off on the East Coast at Springfield College, which is a really good phys ed school. They actually invented basketball, which is kind of cool. And then I went to Amherst College, which is a very highly academic institution. I then went to the Midwest, which is at a school called Knox College, which is a tiny little Division III school near Iowa. And then I got the job in Southern California, so down at Claremont McKenna. Claremont McKenna, our athletics program actually is 3 schools combined. So it's Claremont McKenna, Harvey Mudd, and Scripps colleges. So Scripps College is an all-girls school, so that doesn't help my team too much. Claremont McKenna is the #8 liberal arts school in the country. It's very good with business, economics, finance, law, pre-med. To get into Claremont McKenna, you need either a 32 on the ACT or a 2100 on the SAT. Those are the median average scores. That's it. Yeah, Yossi, you going to apply next year? Okay. Harvey Mudd College is the #1 ranked undergraduate engineering school in the country. One of the students last week he's actually already been hired by Apple to program the touchscreen technologies on iPads and iPhones. To get into Harvey Mudd, you need to be a STEM student. You need to love math and science. You need to be taking BC Calc as a sophomore or as a junior. All right? Those kids are incredibly smart and do ever so well. They also have the #1 post-graduation salary rate. So he's going to be making 6 figures post-graduation, which is a nice situation to be in. As Greg said earlier, Claremont kind of competes with the Ivy League schools for students. So most of the kids that look at our schools are looking at MIT, they're looking at Harvard, Yale, all those types of institutions. What we think we can provide is an unrivaled education in Southern California with a chance to compete for a national championship. It is a wonderful institution. We play in a wonderful league, a very kind of eclectic league full of really good schools. Cal Lutheran is in that league, Redlands is in that league, Occidental's in that league, Laverne. The soccer level in Southern California is certainly the best in the country without a shadow of a doubt. So the Division III level, although Division III is very, very high, I know that Yossi actually beat Redlands quite handily in preseason, but it was a good soccer match for at least half a game. So his team's really good.
Reading is very good, their conference is very good.
Yeah.
Conference is a very high level.
For sure. So Clermont's 45 minutes up the road. If you've got the boards, shoot me an email.
And we have Cheyenne, who's assistant coach at Vanguard University.
So how many of you guys have heard of Vanguard University? A lot of people that because I coach high school too, and not a lot of kids in my high school have ever even heard of Vanguard University. So we're an NAIA school. The good thing about us is we really don't have any rules. So, we can contact you, you can contact us, call us, we can call you, anything you want to do. So when you're in high school, the only rules is with community colleges is that we can't talk to you unless you're a second year. So a few notes that I wrote down is also the good thing about our NAIA school is not only can we talk to you, but you can also train with our team as well. Now we're allowed to, I think we're allowed to have two sessions with a player. So in other words, a good thing with film is after that we can bring the players in and we can go ahead and give them like a little trial to see how they like it. If we like them, if it's a good fit, the players can, help them out. They can stay on campus with players that are in the dormitories, all that, which is pretty cool for NAIA since we can't go out to all the games. Very small school. We have about 1,300 kids at our school. The ratio for faculty to students is about 10 to 15 to 1. Very small. I'm actually attended Vanguard University myself, and I've had three to four kids in some of my classes. So once you get to your major and you're going down to your junior, senior year, it gets down. Everybody knows each other in the community. So make a lot of friends, and teachers are very close. And they don't want you to fail. They'll want you to pass and get a degree, which is very nice about this school. We are a Christian college, so with that, we love kids that attend church, are Christians, and also have great character and servant leadership. Now, that doesn't shy us away from anybody that's not a Christian, but we do take that into account of admitting them into the school and whatnot. We've been pretty successful the last few years. Been ranked in the top 20. This last season was pretty good for us. We lost in the conference tournament to Biola University and went on to win our first round match and lose in the second round. And lose in the second round. We just finished number 14 rank. So the way I think about it is, I know all of you guys. I was a player that started to want to go to Division I. I went to Division I my first year, and I came back home, went to community college, was a good route, and then went to finish at Vanguard University. Now, there's always a plan A, but there has to be plan B, C, D, and E. So, not always settle for the highest route, but also have those smaller schools in your back pocket.
And finally, Michael is a current player here at West Coast. He plays on our boys U17 team. Michael is a captain for our boys U17 team. Michael's team won Cal South National Cup last year. They're Surf Cup champions. They went to Western Regional Championships in Boise, Idaho last summer. Michael's team lost in the quarterfinals. They're also SDSL Tier 1 league champions this year. So Michael and I met last year, and we went through his list of schools, and I'll just say that Michael, number one school on his list was University of Washington. Obviously, Michael chose Cal State Fullerton, so maybe Michael can speak a little bit about the change. University of Washington to Cal State Fullerton.
So, I'm Michael Oakson. I'm a junior at Bishop Aiden High School, and I started the college search process when I was a freshman in high school, and I sat down and met with Brian, and like Carlos said, I started with a large list, that probably 15 to 20 schools, and originally I wanted to go out of state to Washington, and I don't know, as time passed, I kind of realized I want to stay closer to home and study kinesiology and play soccer here, so that list shrunk quite significantly, I guess. And came across Cal State Fullerton. He came out to a few of my games, and I really fell in love with the school, and it offered my my kinesiology major and great soccer.
Thank you, Mike. So real quick, we're kind of running out of time, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask the coaches maybe some questions. Any questions? Wow, that's pretty good. Oh, we have one in the back.
I just have a basic question. What is the thing to consider for D1 versus D2 versus D3 schools? I mean,
What is the thing to consider for D1, D2, D3?
yes,
Is that your question?
yes.
It's a work, it's a educational, athletic, life in balance. That's the way the NCAA, defines it. So, briefly, in Division I, they allowed more days of training, they allowed more hours of training throughout the year, and as Coach clarified, the demand is much higher on the individuals with regards to the athletic aspect. When you go to the second division, Division II, we have less training days, especially during the off season. We have less hours, and the idea behind it by the NCAA is that they need to be committed to the academic side more during the off season. And I believe that when you go to Division III, the restriction on the athletic aspects is even farther. So the idea is basically a lot more athletic emphasis, a little bit less athletic emphasis, a little bit less athletic emphasis. To clarify, Division I in spring is whatever the amount of days that you didn't use in season, right? And those days you can train them all the time while you're in the season, correct?
I'll just jump in with Yossi and help a little bit here, but I think, again, try to make it quick, every school wants to graduate their student athletes, okay? So, you come to college, after 70 operations, I became a coach, right? So, it can happen to anybody in here, and you have to plan for it. I didn't want to coach, and some people, you could argue, some people saying I'm still not a coach. But the bottom line is, you gotta go to school, And so, Yossi's right, but again, it's a, as I said, it's a mental commitment. You're checking into, you're buying into that level. And Division II, trust me, I know the demands of Division II, and I know the demands of NAI, and I know the demands of Division III. They all want their student athletes to be year-round committed student athletes. Okay, they have to stay fit year-round because their job isn't to keep you fit or get you fit. Their job is to get you to a level as a team. Okay, if you come in unfit, and they have to get you fit every spring or every fall, that's really not their job. Your job is to be fit year-round. So it is a student athlete. You have to be academically fit year-round as well. So yeah, it's about 8 weeks for a Division I player, but you're still training 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week skill training, and probably 5 days a week in weight training at a Division I level throughout the year, in addition to your training.
Yeah, but the spring is, how much, 8 weeks?
8 weeks of training with the team.
So this is just example. So they have 8 weeks. We have 45 days, but inside these 45 days, you can only use 24 days of training as a team. So during the 8 weeks, you guys can go every day.
Every day, except we take 1 day
You
off.
take 1 day off. So in Division II, you go 45-day window, 24 opportunities to basically do it. So if you look at the numbers, there's less numbers, which then you go to Division III, you go from 24 essentially in Division II to 5 weeks. To 5 weeks and 3 times a week. So if you look at the numbers, now they're 15. So it's all, again, everybody wants, I would like my athletes to be the best athletes they can be, and I'm sure coach as well. Everybody wants the athletes to be the best. But the philosophy of the NCAA, which is the governing body of all of us, besides the NAI, They want life in balance, and life in balance means a little different in Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. So that will be the best answer probably.
Okay, hold on, one second. We have to conclude, so I'm sorry, but we can't go into more questions because we have another group at the end. So just wanted to take a moment for you guys to thank the coaches for. If you have additional questions, maybe outside, you can ask privately, so there's some questions that you might have. But again, thank you guys.
One quick, like I said, the last time that we did this workshop, it was very good. And the action steps, listen, the action steps and what you need to do next, you can get them on the collegesoccerguide.com. Here's the thing, if you guys register tonight or within the next 24 hours, you get the College Fix Finder included. So it's a great opportunity and it's a great deal to take advantage of. I highly recommend it. So thank you guys for coming. Thank
This is your stuff. No, this is not a good. I just wonder how important the game is. Because that's our